My lovely subjects, thank you for being in my exalted presence today. 'Tis the Queen of Leaky Gut, here to help you find out, or to ask you, and to help you find out, some very serious, very important, but very embarrassing questions. Let me maintain my decorum and ask, are you bloated? Do you have bad digestion? Do you have gas? Do you have diarrhea or constipation? Does food just not agree with you? Seriously, folks. My name is Dietitian Jill, and we did do that stuff when I was an original groundling, and we had a gal in the company who did Shakespeare, so she taught us how to do Shakespeare improv. But this is very serious. I'm talking about leaky gut, and I need to take off my crown because it's really heavy, but it's very beautiful. The Queen is here, and we'll talk to you about some very serious things. Again, Dietitian Jill plays. I'm an alternative healer. I specialize in leaky gut because Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said, disease begins in the gut, and nothing could be truer. So today I'm going to talk to you about what is leaky gut. And you probably see it written a lot about in the internet and yogurt commercials and all kinds of things. But I really want to talk to you about what that is and why it's so important, because disease does begin in the gut. And let me kind of explain. Here's my little cute illustration. Anyway, so this is, you'll have to excuse the writing because it's backward, but here's my picture of a leaky gut. You can see this better on my website, www.healyourhealthnow.com, and there is an article, What is Leaky Gut? So let me share this with you today. This is a healthy gut. First of all, this is the small intestine. I'm going to back up. This is a healthy gut, okay? A healthy gut. And here's the immune system down here. So if you're wondering where it is, it's one cell below our gut cells, okay? This is a healthy gut. What does this look like? It has, first of all, these little things are called tight junction proteins. They keep the gut close to things that shouldn't be there. Okay, so they're kind of like a coffee filter, the filter, your coffee filter, if you drink coffee, filters out the really good stuff and keeps out all those icky grounds that you throw away afterwards, I would hope. And so those are tight junction proteins, very important for our health. And at the top are these things called, can you see them? They're called villi, and that's where your food is digested. Again, this is the small intestine, so most of your digestion takes place there. And you notice these little things, these are like toxins, these are like allergens, these are like things that are not supposed to get into your bloodstream below. Okay, so this is the bloodstream, immune system, and toxins. What keeps them out? The tight junction proteins, because they act, as I said, like coffee filters. They're really great. That's a healthy gut. And that's what we all should have. But I got to tell you that 80% of us have this gut. This is called a leaky gut. Let me kind of explain what that is. Can you see that? Inflammation is spelled wrong and backwards, so excuse it. What ends up happening is those tight junctions become relaxed. And I'm going to talk to you later in other Facebook Lives about what causes that, because it's really important to know that, because that's the beginning of your healing. So what ends up happening is the tight junctions become relaxed, and stuff gets through your gut that shouldn't be in there and gets into your bloodstream. Okay, number one. Number two, because the immune system is here, it sees these things as foreign invaders and starts to attack them. So it starts to attack them, and then it just gets really confused and it starts attacking other things. So this really is the biggest problem we're having today. 80% of us have leaky gut. 80%. Yes, 80%. It's kind of scary when you think about it, because most of us have this to some degree. What ends up happening is not only do things get in your bloodstream, but those little villi I talked about get blunted, so you can't digest your food. Also, you'll notice that these are red inflammation results. That's my cat. That's Romeo. Yes, darling, we'll talk to you later. Romeo, just go away. Yes, he's not royal, but he thinks he is. Anyway, so what happens when this happens? Well, you start getting sick. You start developing things called autoimmune diseases, and we're going to talk about that in a second. You also develop a predisposition to whatever you're predisposed to. So in other words, if there's family history of heart disease, you probably, because of this, will develop some form of heart disease. If your family history has a thyroid issue, is about thyroid issues, you'll develop thyroid issues. If your family history is about, cancer, you probably will develop cancer. So it's really important to maintain a gut that looks like this. Okay? Anyway, so I'm going to put that one down. I'm going to talk to you about another one. Yes, my crown. My crown! Oh, my kingdom for a horse. Anyway, this is also on the website, healyourhealthnow.com, What is Leaky Gut? So you can read that if you want. So here's your gut. It's inflamed. My leaky gut. Very sad, leaky gut. What ends up happening is you can develop all or some of the following. Okay? Autoimmune disease, Hashimoto's, lupus, Lyme, celiac disease. Those are all autoimmune disease, including type 1 diabetes, cancer. They're showing that the inflammation that leaky gut causes and the stuff that gets in your bloodstream that shouldn't be there eventually causes full-blown disease. It takes a long time, but it does. Okay? So food sensitivities, if you're one of those people who has really a hard time figuring out what to eat and how to eat, that's probably one of the reasons. Nutrient deficiencies, because your nutrients go not where they should be. Stress. Stress is interesting because it causes leaky gut, but it also is a byproduct of leaky gut. Depression, poor dental health. Your health also begins in your teeth. Candida, SIBO, SIFO, all of those buzzwords today. Parasites, and something called molecular mimicry, because when all of this stuff gets in there and the immune system starts to attack it, it'll attack anything. It's one of the reasons why we have so much gluten sensitivity today, because it attacks gluten because it's a very similar molecule to other foreign invaders. Weight gain, because your nutrients aren't being absorbed correctly. So what does your body do? It loves to store fat, so it goes there. On rare occasions, weight loss. Parasites. In other words, what happens is the body becomes out of balance. And when it becomes out of balance, what ends up happening is that you end up with a lot of problems. So if you're one of those people, I have to tell you, if you don't have any of the symptoms I talked about, guess what? You can have leaky gut and not know it because some people have absolutely no symptoms. Okay, my Romeo, I love you. We'll talk later. You probably want dinner. Okay, dinner later. So the question then is, do doctors believe in this? Well, some do and some don't. There's his tail. Some do and some don't. And it's too bad because the medical model is always 20 years behind the time, and we don't have a lot of time because autoimmune is on the rise and things are heating up and people are having issues that they just can't treat with pills. And we'll talk in another Facebook Live about what you can do about this. But this is really bad. Some doctors just don't acknowledge it. As a matter of fact, someone was sharing on the listserv, one of my colleagues, that a doctor told her there was no such thing as leaky gut, and how dare she talk about it. So some do and some don't. So really what this is all about is you taking responsibility for your own health. That's the bottom line. And really figuring out, is this something that I really are having a problem with? And what do I need to do? And it's better to seek out an alternative practitioner who really specializes in these things. The other thing is change your mind, because this is not about the medical model. Anyway, the Queen of Leaky Gut was in and is now out. I love you, lovely subjects. Thank you for joining me. Bless you.